Hello and welcome, friends. This is Susan Bradley Bortfield, creator and founder of Soul Speakers Global, Partners at Play, and Coaches on the Rise. Today, I'm really excited to have my amazing guest, a beautiful spiritual light in this world, Nasrin Barbic. Hi, Nasrin.
Hi, Susan. What an introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we start, I just want to read a little bit about you. I'm going to just read your bio so people can get a little feel for who you are before we deep dive. Nasrin is a certified life coach, hypnotherapist, Reiki master, and the founder of Pathway to Lasting Joy. Nasrin blends traditional coaching methods, scientifically proven techniques, and deep healing through hypnotherapy and Reiki to help her clients release mental, physical, and spiritual blocks to success in all areas of life. She also has a bachelor's degree in computer science and a master's degree in informational technology management. Welcome, Nasrin.
Thank you, Susan.
So you can add author to that as well because you have a new book coming out. I'm really excited. We're going to talk about that a little later. But I am so excited to have you here because you truly are a soul speaker. And when I say that, what I mean for those that may be listening for the first time is that you're a coach that sees beyond the physical person and you see them for the truth of who they are, which is whole, perfect, and complete. Nothing's broken and nothing needs to be fixed. And you just use your gifts as a coach and a healer to release that junk, right? I like to call it junk. You might call it limiting beliefs to release that and allow them to really stand in their power and live their best life. So, thank you for being here. I'm honored.
Thank you. I am honored to be here with you, Suzanne.
So, we have awakened, right? And anybody watching this video, they've heard a lot about awakening and what it means. And I wanted today to talk about our experience so that maybe somebody out there that is feeling kind of displaced from their life, they want more, maybe they don't quite know what's going on, right? Maybe they were always happy in their life and then now it's like they're just not feeling fulfilled. So through our stories, perhaps somebody will be able to recognize that it's the universe, it's spirit intervening on their behalf, right?
Right.
So life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us, right? And
Absolutely.
I really had to remember that last week when my computer crashed and my email didn't work. It's like, okay, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me.
Right.
That's the biggest difference for me. Like I no longer see things happening to me. I recognize that it's happening for me. So this happened to you as well. So,
yes.
so you've been a coach for quite a while. And so you mentioned that in 2013 something shifted for you. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. So in 2013, I woke up in a seemingly perfect life. I had at that point 10 years career as a software engineer, married for almost 10 years, and had 2 kids. Everything from outside looked just perfect. But that morning, I woke up with this sinking feeling that is nothing is right. And there is something is wrong. And I've been ignoring those little voices in my head now and then that was trying to send me a message, and I keep ignoring it. But I felt so bad and sick that I just literally couldn't get up. So I called in sick and I said, I'm staying in today. And then I start taking deep breath. I was thinking something physically first is wrong with me. I felt truly my body was shaking with the stress and anxiety. And I decided to just run a bath for me and calm down. And that's when everything hit me. I started crying. And I'm like, okay, what is going on with me? I am not truly happy. I heard myself saying that. And I said, not only I don't feel connected to my husband, I have a hard time even connecting to my adorable kids. And I'm not even enjoying my job anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And literally, like, that's everything in your life, right? It seems like nothing was right.
Right.
And then, and that's where my journey started. That day, I said, okay, I've been doing everything that I thought I was supposed to be doing, but maybe it's not for me. There is something here not right. And making the long story short, and I go deeper in my book, in my chapter about this, a year later, I found myself in the middle of divorce. And things are going in the rapid pace down the hill. I was totally not aligned anymore with who I was. I didn't know who I was. And all I knew, I needed help. And I would wake up in the morning with chatters in my head, blaming everything, blaming my husband, blaming outside circumstances and everything. So I was a victim at that point, right? And I was feeling sorry for myself. And that was my world for a while until I got motivated to do something about it. And I started going and practicing yoga. And that was my first step. It allowed me to breathe. And after practicing for like 4 or 5 weeks, I noticed actually I'm feeling my anxiety is going away. So I fell in love with yoga. And then the first thing I did is like, I want to go deeper. And I enrolled for 200-hour yoga instructor. And that's what I did, which has truly helped me. And because that took me to meditation. And when I started meditating, I noticed that I don't wake up with those chatters anymore. And it felt really good. And I started thinking clearly at that point because I quieted down all those chatters. And I said, okay, what's my next step? I need something different. And you know, Suzanne, for a year, my husband and I went to therapists. I went to therapists myself alone, and it did not help me. And I said, okay, I need something different. And a friend suggested, why don't you try a life coach? I'm like, okay. At that point, I was willing to try anything. And that's when my true transformation happened. Hiring a coach. She was fantastic. And she asked me the right question and made me curious enough that I want to go deeper. The more I worked with her, the more I found out the reason behind all my aches and pains and all the restlessness that I had. And I knew I had to go deeper. And she suggested that she thinks that I would benefit from inner child healing and seeing a hypnotherapist. And she suggested someone. And I did that, which truly helped me. And Susan, I believe now that unless you heal that inner child within you, you cannot shine as who you truly are. And that's where I realized where's the root cause of all my unhappiness was. I wasn't truly loving myself. I did not know my value. I did not felt worthy of love. And when you do feel all those, you build the wall around you. You don't even allow anybody to love you. And I was always complaining.
Can
Right?
I
Sure.
can I stop you there for 1 second?
Absolutely.
Because until you knew you didn't love yourself,
Mm-hmm.
did you know you didn't love yourself? Because I didn't know I didn't love myself.
Exactly. I did, not only I didn't know, when the very first time I was told, I don't think you love yourself, I went home thinking she doesn't know what she's talking about. Because, and here's why, I thought, oh, I have this degree, I've done this. You know, that's the reason we do all those things outside of ourselves. We don't
Yeah,
feel whole and enough and complete within. And we think if we do this, if we achieve this, and if we do that, then maybe we'll feel that, right?
right, right.
And then we mistakenly think that because we did that, it means we love ourselves.
Yes, so that realization, when I realized, because I was like I became bedridden. I
Mm.
became bedridden when I had my aha, my awakening. And so when I realized that I didn't love myself, that was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like, and then the truth, like all the truth of all the ways I wasn't showing up for myself, not in a judgment kind of way that, look what you did to yourself, but in a very compassionate and loving way. I realized, oh my God, my body broke down, and instead of taking time out and giving it the love it needed, I resented it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I resented it. I hated my body for not keeping up. So continue. Yes, continue.
Yeah, so that was, and you know, Suzanne, I exactly felt like that. The moment that I realized that I create my own reality and I create it based on what I believe about myself or the world around me. And it was clear to me when I went back and thought about everything that happened, like the relationship before I had in my marriage, all of them end up in the same place. And it was, I wanted to leave because I didn't feel loved. And I wouldn't even listen if they say, hey, it's not that. I love you. I wouldn't even be able to receive it because I
Right.
do believe if you truly don't love yourself, you can't even receive. You cannot receive anything that you don't have within you, right? So, so at first I felt bad. It's like, oh my God, I've been doing this to myself, one relationship after another. It was me. But then soon after, I had this empowering feeling came to me. And I thought, wow, if I did that unconsciously, what could I create consciously, right? And that's when the fun begins.
Ding, 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 ding. Right?
Absolutely.
So the divorce and all of this stuff and you being called to do yoga, right? It's like the universe, for those of you listening, the universe is always speaking to us and everything is always happening for us. So, I became bedridden because I was ignoring the signs. I was ignoring the universe trying to get my attention, right? The
Mhm.
body, our body loves us. Our body loves us, right? Our heart never stops. It keeps beating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no vacation, right?
Mhm.
So our body loves us, and sometimes pain will show up just for you to pay attention, right?
Mhm.
There's something to pay attention to. Hello, morning, morning, right? So,
Right.
so now that I listen to the signs, but I didn't pay
Mm.
attention, and I kept going. I kept going. My sister died in 2011, and she left 3 kids. The oldest was just 20,
Mm.
and the youngest was 14. So I was going back and forth like an hour each way, like 3 times a week to take care of them and
Mm.
working and I had a high stress job in the insurance industry. And all the meanwhile, I continued to be in more and more pain. And I just stuffed it. I'm like, listen, I got stuff to do. I don't have time for this. Knock it off. I mean, it was to the point where my boyfriend would meet me in the driveway, help me out of the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how, this is how tough I was. And bring me into bed. But deep down, I knew that, spirit or something, that I needed to take time off, but I just had things to do and I wasn't willing to give myself that space. So, to make a long story short, because I didn't work, I didn't listen to my body, spirit shut down my computers at work. They gave me 5 computers, none of them would work. And I'm like, okay, well, since the computers aren't working and I can't walk, I might as well take time off.
Mm-hmm.
So for those listening, it doesn't have to get that bad, right? It doesn't have to get that bad, but really take a moment, give yourself some time, maybe after you watch this interview, give yourself some time and really think about those spaces and places things aren't working in your life.
Right.
Instead of being angry at your body or angry at your boss or angry at your husband, really just kind of take a minute and close your eyes, breathe, and just ask, what's this trying to, what's the message?
Mm-hmm.
What's the message? With the knowing that things are always happening for us, even when it feels like it's happening to us, it's, things will happen to try to shift us in a new direction. And if you're meant to go in a new direction, but you're not listening, those signs, those things are going to continue to show up until you pay attention.
Right.
Is that your experience as well?
Absolutely. And you said it, Susan. The key is awareness, right? Listening to those little voices that trying to get your attention. If you don't pay attention, then they're physically going to show up, right? Then you're going to get sick. There's something going to go wrong. And it's so they're trying to get your attention. And you don't have, if you listen, and that's why I think meditation also is very beneficial. When you quiet down and you start listening to those voices, they're giving you a message. Maybe you're not in the right path. Maybe you need to start a conversation. So definitely, and I would say, exactly what you said, that life happens for you. Of course, when you are in crisis mode, you don't realize that. Because when I was in the middle of divorce, I truly disliked my husband then, and I blamed him for everything. But when I went through this journey, one day I thanked him truly through my heart because he was the catalyst for me to awaken. And by the way, Susan, we never got divorced. I put my divorce on hold when I knew that I had something to do with it, and we were separated for 2 years. And through that 2 years, I was working on myself, learning more and all of it. And eventually we got back together, never got divorced. Although we had the papers, we never signed it, and we're still together. Right.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's so powerful because you shifted from blame to understanding that whatever's going on out in your world, right? If you're fighting with your spouse, if you're fighting with your boss, if your computer's crashing like mine did last week, something within you is going on.
Right.
It's always you.
Right. Something wants to be born, and that's the way it's going to go. That's how it's going through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So your message to your clients and what you help them understand, and I do as well for the coaches that I work with, is that when you go within, and it's always within, whatever's going on within you is reflected outside of you. So,
Absolutely.
so when things are going bonkers and everything seems out of control, connect, go within, and really just check in and ask yourself, you know, what's going on here,
Right. And
right?
that's what I do even now. When I found myself in a place that there is resistance, there is unease, I ask myself, what is within me causes that, right?
Mm.
Because we create our world from inside out. And that's something I know is sometimes hard to put our mind around it. And, but we create our world. The point being, you will not be able to see even outside something that you don't truly believe and or have an understanding within. So what you believe, how you think, it leads to how you feel, and how you feel is how you vibrate, and that's how you attract your experiences around you.
And so when you're when we're looking outside ourselves for things, people, places, and things to make us happy, to fulfill us, it could never work, right?
Right.
Our responsibility is to fill our own cup, to
Mm-hmm.
give ourselves, let's face it, we were all brought up to look to make others happy, to worry about what others are thinking, to do what's expected. Nobody taught us to love ourselves, to say, you know what, I love you. You
Right.
know, to give your body love. Oh, you're hurting, baby. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to
Yeah.
give ourselves that love and that
Mm-hmm.
passion. Because if we can't love ourselves, who can?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's
Yeah.
the bottom line. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't love yourself, no, you know, you're not going to receive it from the outside, or it'll only be temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one can continually fill your cup.
Right. Yeah.
And if
It's
you
an inside job, right? And that's why happiness is so elusive for a lot of us, because we have learned a model of if and then, what I call it, if and then model of happiness. Meaning, if I get that house, then I'll be happy. If I get married, then I'll be happy. If I get that job, then I'll be happy. And what happened? You get what you think you want and create happiness. Okay, maybe a week or two you're happy. Soon after, you're looking at something else, right? And then you keep thinking that something outside of you going to fulfill this emptiness that you feel and make you happy. And until we do that, we're just chasing an illusion, because happiness comes from within. And
yeah.
then we reach within, and loving ourselves truly is a big part of it. And when people say, isn't that selfish? I always tell them, no. My experience was, the more I loved myself, the more love I had to give. I was becoming more and more loving towards others, even people who I thought before I could not get along, but the relationship with them changed. So if you truly love yourself, you will not be able not to love or like anybody. It's just impossible.
It is impossible, and it's impossible to stay mad at anybody too.
Right, right, right.
Stay mad. I cannot be mad at anybody. You know,
Right.
sometimes I try.
Yeah. And the other thing, I think you get to the point of understanding, right? You
Yeah.
understand that everybody, they have their own journey to go through, right? And they are where they are, which is perfect for them. And hopefully something within them give them the message that it's time to change something. If they're unhappy, if they have anxiety, if they feel like they're chasing something and they're never reaching it. But until then, right? You are
Yes.
where you are.
Yes. So, I have so much, like I could talk for hours on this subject, and I'm trying to think what's most important. It really is to honor yourself first. And it is not selfish. And if anybody wants you to do something for them and not do something for yourself, like if they're making you choose them over you, they the ones that are being selfish,
And not
right?
only that, if you do it, you create resentment, and your relationship with that person would never be perfect. So
Yes, and
you might have resentment against all that, even though you're doing it.
right, we are vibrational. We are vibrational beings. So like you said, it, you know, everybody is happy when you are doing only what you want to do, and in only doing things that honor who you are. You're vibrating at that love. You're vibrating at that joy, and that's what people feel all around you, and your vibration can change everything,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Because you can't fake it.
right. So when mom is happy, everyone's happy. It's a true
Mhm.
statement. And when you're doing something that you don't want to do, you're bringing that energy to the party. So
Mhm.
don't do that in which you really don't want to do.
Right.
Don't think that you're taking one for the team because you're really stinking up the room.
right.
I say that energetically, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I
And
could,
you know, when you do your inner work, everybody around you benefits. Everyone you meet benefits. And I love this, the story, and I want to share it here just to emphasize how important it is. Because most of the time, as moms, we feel guilty, right? We think if we give ourselves time and we're taking it from the kids. When I went through this journey and gave myself time to heal and love myself, one day my 9-year-old looked at me eye to eye and said, "Mom, I love the way you are right now. Please don't go back the way you used to be." That
uh,
was just like literally like the way I used to be anxious, and literally not available, because physically I was there, but I was lost in my thoughts, right? The quality was not there. And kids pick up on this, and how I was at that moment with him, 100% available, present with him. I was enjoying my time with him. I was in love with myself and life, and I was bringing it
right.
to, yeah, right? So it's totally worth the time, effort for yourself and your loved one, anybody in your life, for you to do your inner search and guide that you have always, that connect with it and see what you need to do to be in a better place.
And I want to just add, before we talk about your book, because we're almost out of time, but when we make ourselves responsible for our children's happiness or our spouse's happiness, when we take that responsibility on, if anything ever happened to us, they won't know how to create that happiness for themselves, right? And that's a true thing. And I've seen it in my own family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's your responsibility is to make yourself happy, to fill your own cup, and to really honor who you are. And when you do that, you honor everyone in your life.
I agree 100%.
And so you have this amazing book coming out, and I know more of your story is in that book. And this is a book, it's called Voices of the 21st Century. And there's 50 amazing, incredible women that are contributors to this book. And your story is in there.
Right.
So I maybe start there. If you don't know where to start with the book, right? Start with the book and read the stories of these incredible women and how they were able to overcome their own circumstances to find love, to find joy, to find peace within themselves. And, you know, my mission is to bring awareness to the power of coaching. Therapy, in my opinion, it's a good thing in emergency situations. I'm not knocking therapy in any way, even though I personally have had a bad experience. But in coaching hundreds of coaches, what I noticed was in therapy, because many of us coaches, we've had therapy, right? Because we're always seeking, we're always searching.
Right.
So, you know, therapy keeps you looking behind you as to why this stuff has happened. Why did it happen, right? Coaching is different. Coaching, yes, we look in the rearview mirror to take a peek and say, okay, that happened, right? What do you want instead? What do you want to experience instead? And then coaching helps you release, to heal whatever it is within you, and to release anything standing in your way and move you forward very, very quickly.
Yes.
It is the fastest way. And I know my guides, my angels have put me on this path to really bring awareness to the world of the power of coaching, because it is the way of the future. The old way of therapy, the old way of government, the old ways, they don't work anymore.
Right.
They don't work. So hiring a coach is going to be the new way of achieving what you want. I mean, they've been doing it for sports forever, right? There's none athlete that is a paid athlete that doesn't have a coach. But you can have a coach for your finances, for your well-being, for your health, for your just your general life, your career. So hire a coach. If you are not happy with where you are, do yourself the favor and hire a coach.
Suzanne, quickly, I want to share this because 6 months ago, I went to California for a conference and I met a lady there who is a professional therapist. And later she contacted me and she became my client. And she told me that herself. She was joking at first, oh, I should send you my clients. And then one day she told me, Naz, you know, I want to honestly tell you that what I have been learning from you, the tool you've been giving me, I've been giving to my patients and they're getting results. And then one day she said, the only problem is they're getting results very fast. So they're not coming to me for a year anymore.
Right. And isn't that the truth? Like if you hire a coach, you can shift your life tremendously within weeks, within a few months. You could
absolutely. You don't need to work on it for a year, 2 or 3, you know?
Right. No. I mean, seriously, tremendous results.
Yeah.
So hire Nasrin, hire her as your coach to really make that shift and create a better life for yourself. You can connect with her on her website, pathwaytolastingjoy.com. That's PATHWAYTO, lasting joy, right? And hire her as your coach. You can have a complimentary consultation with her, and she will let you know honestly if you are a good fit to for her, and if not, she can recommend another coach for you, right? So this is the fastest, most amazing way to shift your life. Also, on her website, there's a space where you can sign up and be alerted or pre-order her book that's coming out on September 10th. Again, it's Voices of the 21st Century. 50 amazing, remarkable women telling their story of adversity and how they were able to overcome their darkest days to achieve a life of happiness and joy. And you can too. So thank you so much, Nasrin, for being a guest on this show. You truly are a soul speaker. Remember, nothing's broken, nothing needs to be fixed, just needs to be shifted. You are whole, perfect, and complete. You are in truth spirit, and that's the truth. Have a fabulous day. If you want to reach out to me, I have a brand new website. It's coachesontherise.com. If you'd like to be, if you believe you're a soul speaker and would like to be interviewed, you can find a form to fill out and we can connect. It's under the Work With Me tab on my website. So have a fabulous day. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Perfect.